Welcome
Oh,
to the Fine Print, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caleb Teskey, and today I am joined by Jamie-Lee Fernandes from Green Mountain Munchies and
hi
Sunday
everyone.
Drive. And Jamie, well, you know how I start my interviews with a 5-minute life story. I'm
Yes.
hoping maybe you'll run me through what you got going on in this industry, please.
Yeah. Okay. So what? Well, I love cannabis. I've been using cannabis since I was almost 21 years old. So I had a late start, but I just love cannabis for so many reasons. I am a Vermont medical patient. We can touch on that a little later.
Yes,
Um,
please.
but I have chronic back pain. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and celiac disease very young. I did gluten free for several years. I don't do that anymore, but I am having some medical complications. So um,
Where are you from, Jamie?
I'm from Heartland, Vermont. That's my hometown. I grew up in Heartland with my parents and my brother Danny. Danny is the one that got me into cannabis. So thank you to my brother.
Word up to Danny.
Yeah. So grew up in Heartland. We moved to Queechee when I was about 12 or 13. Went to Hartford High School. Did not use cannabis in school at all. I never tried it until right before I turned 21.
Wow, never in high school, huh?
No, it's
Wow.
probably a good thing because I probably would have. I just dove right in once I started. I loved it. My brother will tell you about the first night I ever tried it. He made me promise if I was ever to use cannabis, it would be with him first. So I had to go find him one night and tell him I was ready, and that's a whole different story right there. But um,
How'd it go? Well, let's talk about that story. How did it go, your first experience?
it was amazing. I had to find my brother. He was up at this place on Joe Ranger Road where it's party, and he was on mushrooms and he couldn't look at the weed. He handed it to me and was like, "Here, pack this. I can't look at it." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to try it." And so I did it. And then he jumped out of the car and put his arms up and started yelling and telling everyone that I just smoked pot. And, it was, that's how I started. And then he gave me his bag and said, "You can smoke some of this tonight." He had just got a quarter that night and I smoked most of it. There was a bud left in the morning and he woke up and was like, "What the fuck?" And he wasn't mad. I got him some more that night and I dove right in.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
let me ask you, you said you were a medical patient.
I
Uh,
am.
so
I have
you have
been
a
for
you have a
3 years.
medical card in Vermont.
I do.
Who is your dispensary that you've chosen?
Series Med South and Brattleboro.
Now,
But
can I ask
they
you about, sorry, go ahead.
they just actually said that I can go to any dispensary in Vermont now. That's new.
That is a
But
new change, yes.
I don't go often. I can't
Okay.
afford it.
Can I ask you about your experiences with the medical dispensaries in Vermont so far?
Yeah, well, first I want to touch on that the people there are absolutely fabulous. Shout out to Steven. He's great down. I think he's in Middlebury, but works with Brattleboro also. They're very nice. They're very knowledgeable, but the products aren't great. And
And what
I
do you
can't.
mean by that? What are we talking
Well,
flour,
yeah,
concentrates?
for
Could you
flour,
expand on that?
I'm mostly a flour and edibles person, and the flour starts at about $50 for an eighth. I'm assuming that's just it's not very good. I think I've only purchased flour once or twice. I just can't afford that. And it's not very good. But the real reason I keep my medical card is when we go to Maine, I can go to their medical dispensaries and they have some out of this world product.
So, so you're a Vermont medical patient and you're traveling to Maine to get products.
Oh, you got to say that again. You froze up.
Sorry, you're a Vermont medical patient, but you're going to Vermont to get cannabis products.
Yeah, the prices are better, the products better. The people there are very nice also, and I can't afford the Vermont prices.
And you're driving from pretty far south. You're down in Woodstock, right?
Yep, it's
So
about Maine, southern Maine.
sorry, you're freezing up a little bit now here too.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I want to get this on the record because it seems ridiculous that Vermont medical patients would have to drive to Maine to get products to help them.
Ridiculous. I just, we were a little more like Maine. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
And what are the prices like up in Maine when you go to get a bag of flour or some concentrates or something?
I usually pay like 20 to 35 for an eighth. And I stopped at one place and I had a card from them, like a reward system card from over a year ago that they don't even use anymore. And they gave me $50 off because I had that card.
Hmm.
And that's just, they work with people up there a little bit, it seems like. One lady gave me a couple buds to try just because she liked something and thought I might like it. And it worked. We went back, just they're a lot more advanced than we are here in Vermont with their medical program.
And so you can take a Vermont medical card and go buy medical cannabis in Maine. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All the places I've called and gone have accepted it.
And how do you feel about their flower compared to some of the flower that you've seen here in Vermont growing right now?
Oh, well, there are a lot of really good growers in Vermont right now. I think that I've encountered so far. But the quality of the Maine cannabis this weekend was really good. It really has. Some of them, there was one place that it wasn't as good last time I went, and I just stopped in to see if it had changed, and their product had gotten way better, way better.
And if you don't mind me asking, what types of medical conditions? It sounds like you had some back problems. What
Yep,
types of
I have
medical
chronic back
conditions
pain.
are you seeking medical cannabis to treat?
Really, it's for my back pain, but I also have depression and anxiety terribly. I have something called POI, primary ovarian insufficiency, that I was just diagnosed with right before the Heady in April. It's basically early menopause, and I have very low egg production, and I only have about a 5% chance of having kids. So that could be because of my celiac disease. Don't really know, but going through that right now. So that's hard. And cannabis has really helped my depression through that.
Would you like to have kids, Jamie?
That's what I've always wanted. My boyfriend has two beautiful girls. They're awesome. But I would really like to have a child of my own someday. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but there are other ways, adoption. And if I were to use someone else's eggs, it's just not covered in Vermont by insurance.
No
It
shit.
is in New Hampshire.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that sucks, but
Could you explain that a little bit? Because I've never heard that at all.
yeah, they don't cover like infertility.
Oh, oh, we're breaking up a little
In
there.
New
Hang on.
Hampshire, it would be covered.
Hang on.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. Okay.
all right, there we
You
go.
said Vermont does not cover infertility.
As far as I know, I would most likely need donor eggs to have a child. I have very low egg production.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So that's been a whole other struggle, but this year has been really positive for me besides that. So I'm thankful for that, Got to be happy with what I do have.
Well, you did. I don't mean to interrupt here, but you did win yourself a Heady cup, did you not, for your edibles?
I did. I still am in shock to this day, Caleb. I am in shock. I'm so happy and I can't wait to compete again next year. But I'm still in shock that I won it. I make these edibles at home, you know, in my trailer, and I put a lot of love in them, but I still, I still can't believe that I won, and I'm still on a high from that. That was
What
an amazing event.
what was your winning product? Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yes, it was a gluten-free canna carrot cake made with dosey dough that was inherited. I inherited 3 plants from my friend Brad, who passed away.
Yeah,
He
that was
died
on my
last year.
notes. You jumped the gun, Jamie, but
Sorry,
go no, you
sorry,
go
I'm a
right
gun jumper.
you go right ahead. Please tell us about Brad.
So Brad was a gentleman that I worked with, and Jesse also worked with at Sugarbush Farm, and he was absolutely amazing. He was kind of quiet and reserved a little bit, and I had started working with him one week in June a few years back. He came to my brother's birthday party because his girlfriend is roundabout related to my brother's fiance. So that's a whole nother story. But he came and he was he didn't know anyone there. So I was like, hey, Brad, want to smoke a blunt? And he was like, yeah. And we just smoked like 4 blunts, had some ice cream cake, you know. He was the sweetest guy. He was so much fun. And we had actually helped him out and got him a couple plants. And then when he suddenly passed, and his girlfriend gave me the plants to me and Jesse, and we grew them, and they were amazing. 2 Jack Herrera's and a Dosey Do.
So you're growing genetics from one of your friends who has passed.
Well, yes, we inherited the plants last year, and then we have another Jack Herrera going this year. And we have his picture. We keep his picture on one of the plant pots. So we know he's with us and helping us.
So is this a sort of the circle of life sort of continuing that you're carrying on for one of your friends?
Yeah, if it weren't for Brad and his plants, I wouldn't have been able to start making edibles how I do now. We had a very nice harvest, and I was very lucky and fortunate to be able to use his plants. And when we did run out, and that was hard, we wish we had gotten them cloned, but I'm sorry, that's the office phone ringing. They'll answer it downstairs. But yeah, Brad was amazing.
Now, are there any other local Vermont folks that you're working with for genetics or things of that nature?
Well, my boyfriend had started, he has a crescendo going that he started from seed, and that's an ethos.
Cool.
Yep. And then I did get a couple clones from the dispensary, and then someone had given us a couple other clones. So yeah, we have a few going, but
How have your dispensary clones panned out?
they're doing really well. I have 2 Tropicanas going, Tropicana cookies, and they're really, really nice. I'm very impressed so far.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
all right. So it's not all bad news coming out of the dispensary.
No, no, their clones are very nice. I've gotten them the past few years. I don't want to say that it's all bad. I just wish their products were a little better and more affordable.
So
Especially for people that like veterans and people that are more in need, you know. I'm lucky I have several friends that grow. I don't usually run out. So, yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Now, is that something that's important to you? Veterans, you mentioned that. Is that
Yes.
something in your life that's meaningful?
Yeah, I've had my grandpas were all in the army and whatnot. I have some friends that are in the army now. Um, I just think that I'd like to be able to give back, you know, and do nice things for people, and they deserve it. They really do. They fought for us, and
Mm. And you know, I didn't deserve it, but those carrot cakes are fucking delicious.
well, thank you. Thank you. And they were gluten-free, and that is not something that would ever, gluten-free is not always very good, especially with cupcakes. But I had tried this recipe because I was trying to get on a gluten-free kick again. And I've got such good feedback from all my friends that tried it that I went with the gluten-free.
Now, do you have some health concerns, which is why you're going in that direction?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with celiacs at
Oh,
22.
right. Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm supposed to be gluten free. I'm just not. I get gluten rage. I get really mad if I'm really mad. I used to binge eat gluten and then I'd be really angry and not feel good, but I don't notice it anymore, so I don't do the gluten free. It's really expensive. Can't afford it.
And now, do you? Since you said that, does eating gluten does it affect your mood or your sort of
It
attitude?
used to when I was younger, when I was having severe stomach issues, and I had several upper endoscopies and colonoscopies, all
Yeah,
that fun
me
stuff.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not fun. It's
it's
not
not.
fun, but
It's not.
I've chosen to eat food that I want and it makes me happier. So I guess that's what I do.
Hmm. Now, boy, this is great. It seems like you're sort of like growing plants and making food in honor of a friend of yours that may have passed.
Yes,
Which personally, I try not to let my feelings come into play a lot because I'm supposed to just report the stories. But to me, things like that are kind of amazing, and I
yeah,
kind of love it.
I agree. I just, I wouldn't have been able to start, I wouldn't have even been able to enter the Heady if it weren't for Brad, and
Wow,
his amazing plants.
wow.
And with some encouragement from a couple friends and Jesse, of course. But
So so that weed you were growing for the Heady Cub, was that one of Brad's plants?
yes, it was the
Wow.
Dosage. Yep. And I actually made up these little cards. I don't think they could hand them out because I didn't want it to make people vote towards me or anything like that. But it just explained that this flower came from the plants that we inherited from Brad, and it was a little story basically about Brad.
Wow.
So yeah, that was amazing.
That
He
must
would
have
have been
been
so happy
that must have
that
been
I
a
won.
big feeling for you, huh? When you won.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
crazy. I can't believe it. There were so many amazing looking treats because I did compete in the THC edibles. For CBD and THC edibles, they all looked like on point. Their packaging was great. Here I am making my carrot cake in the trailer, you know? But I'm just being honest. And I still can't believe I won. I'm ecstatic. Couldn't be happier.
Now, does it really matter where you make your edibles? You can make that shit in a trailer. You can make it in a fucking mansion. If
Yeah.
it tastes good and people like it, does it matter where you fucking made it?
No, it shouldn't. No. And like I said, I put a lot of love into it. I take my time and try to follow the recipes, and I taste test. That's what really messes me up. Because I'm like, oh, I got to try this. And then by the end of it, I'm pretty stoned. Let's be honest. But I did try a peanut butter treat this weekend in Maine, and I was like, ugh, it wasn't very good. It
Hmm,
did look homemade, which I give them props, but it wasn't very peanut buttery.
hmm, hmm. And one of the interesting things about making edibles is you've got to try to cover up that taste because the taste is really what people object to because it turns out that weed doesn't taste that good in an edible. But
That
like,
depends.
how do you go about solving that problem, Jamie?
Well, because of Kelly's story, I use coconut oil now instead of butter to infuse.
No shit.
And I use the unrefined, which has more of a coconutty taste. So that's a problem I'm finding. Like my brother hates coconut. So when I make edibles, he's like, "Oh, I can still taste that." But sorry, back to your question. Can you repeat it once more?
No, I'm curious how you go about covering up that taste.
I
Because
don't
it seems like,
necessarily like to cover it up.
oh,
I like the taste
ah,
personally,
all right,
but I really do. If it's weedy tasting, I am going to eat more of it, and that's what's
all
going
right.
to get me
No shit.
mangled. I like that taste, but some
Okay,
people don't. That's why with the coconut oil that I use, you can taste a lot of coconut oil. It's not just the cannabis.
okay. So you like the flavor?
I do. I do.
Okay.
And I think, especially in those carrot cakes, the frosting did have quite a weedy taste.
Hmm.
I think it did.
I'd have to try it again, Jamie.
Yeah, well, we can make that happen. You know that for sure.
So you
So
like the taste of weed in the edibles?
I do. Yeah, I tried a lollipop in Maine this weekend, and it left like a strange coating on my mouth. And I think it was, I don't know how they made it, but it was just a little different. I didn't really
Huh.
taste the cannabis very much,
Huh.
but it left like a weird coating. And it's like, ugh, a
That's
little different.
interesting. Most of the people that I know that don't want to eat edibles, it's because of the weed flavor. Um, and that is, boy, that's a very interesting take. And
Yeah,
you caught me
I'm
off guard
screwy.
there.
I like it. Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that, Jamie.
Well, sorry, I'm just being honest with you.
Usually I'm ready for shit. Uh,
Yeah, no, I like that taste. I really do. But some people say that, oh, I can't taste the cannabis too much in that, I can taste it, but
I don't want to taste it
you
personally.
don't want to.
I don't. I don't love
Okay.
the taste. I'll still eat it if it does taste like weed because I'm a veteran, but
Yeah.
well, not a military veteran, but you know, the more you can cover it up for me, the better it is.
Okay.
As a customer, and I'm a customer. I've always been a customer, and I always will be a customer.
Well, the carrot cake also has a lot of spices in it. So it's got like clove and nutmeg, cinnamon. So that stuff can kind of cover it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think a little, but
Uh,
I do make like my Rice Krispie treats and stuff tend to taste a little like it. But like I said, that coconut oil, I taste a lot of coconut too.
your carrot cakes were phenomenal. By the way, I just want to put that out there.
Thank,
I
thank you.
tried one
I
at Kelly's
appreciate that.
house. Yeah, on the 420 event, you gave me a few edibles and they were fucking fantastic.
Thank you. That makes me so happy. I love that people are happy and enjoying my edibles. That's all I really want in
Yeah.
life.
And now, can I ask you? We're gonna switch gears a little here. I see that sign behind you, the Clover Gifts and an apothecary, and also your shirt with the Sunday Drive. I'd love if you told us a little bit about both of those businesses, please.
Okay, so at the Clover, they sell a lot of CBD products, which I'm learning more about. I'm actually taking,
Where are they? Where are they at, Jamie?
we're in Woodstock Village on Elm Street.
Thank you.
And the Sunday drive will be over. It's right outside of the village. The village had voted no on cannabis sales,
So
but the
they
town voted yes.
they opted out.
Yes. But that's okay. I think with the parking in the village, it would be too much. So we are going to be in I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say all this, but the Worthy Kitchen building directly across the hall, right outside the village. So that's where Sunday Drive will be. I will be, I'm taking a cannabis class right now. I will be bud tending and I will be baking. So I couldn't be happier.
Awesome.
I'm so excited
You're
to
going to be
do all this.
baking for them down there in Woodstock.
Yeah.
What are you going to be baking for us, Jamie?
We're still going over a menu. So I really hope I could do a little carrot cake at some point. I think that might go well. And
I'll
the
get one.
carrot cakes stay really moist even if you freeze them. So I think that would it's a nice moist cake, and I think it would be great. And we got to see what else PJ and the team want to do, but I am so excited and ready for this.
Now you said, yeah, that was the name. PJ Eames is the owner
Yes.
of the Clover Apothecary.
Yes, and Sunday Drive.
Okay, and PJ is a woman, correct?
Yes, a wonderful
Cool.
woman. She's awesome. She's
Yeah,
so nice.
and she's brought you on to offer your products there as well.
Yes. Well, not it won't be under Green Mountain Munchies.
Sure.
It's going to be under Sunday Drive, or the whatever the commercial side of the. There's going to be two separate businesses.
Yeah. But you
But
found someone to offer your products here in
yeah,
Vermont.
that was thanks to Kelly's story. After the Heady, Kelly was like, "You need to do this," like, and that's what I want to do. This is what I want to do. So Kelly made a post, and PJ reached out. PJ was one of the judges for the Headies for edibles, and I met her with Kelly one night, and it just clicked and everything fit together. And I think she's awesome, and she does a great job with the Clover, and I can't wait to see what she does with Sunday Drive. I think it's going to be fabulous. I think bringing cannabis to this town, I think everyone in this town needs a little cannabis. Let's be honest, make it a little happier, a little more waves and whatnot. I think it's going to be great.
And I'm not going to drop this on you, but from my personal experience, Woodstock has kind of always been sort of like an uptight sort of town, and a little cannabis might not hurt down there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm from Heartland, which is one town over, right up the hill from Woodstock. It's not far, but it's a very different feel. Very different feel. A lot of the people that live in Woodstock they don't live here full time. They have second homes up here, and I'll be driving down the road. I'm like, and no one waves to me, and I'm like, that I can't say that no one waves. There are a few people that wave, but I just wish it was a little more friendly around here.
I'd fucking wave to you.
Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate that.
Can I ask you? This is one thing I really wanted to ask you about. Was the gun rights? Because this was something that it seemed like you were outspoken about, and it seems like Vermont dispensary owners and growers are not going to be able to carry guns on site. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the gun rights, please, Jamie.
Oh, I wish Jesse was here right now. He would help me. So I, as a medical patient, cannot purchase guns. I think that is absolutely wrong. I think it's against the Second Amendment, and I just don't agree with it. I did not know what you just said. As you could see, my face kind of turned white and dropped. I am come from a family of avid hunters, and we hunt for our food. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I've grown up in a family that has been hunting for generations. We're Vermonters. That's, what we do. And I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I have my hunting rifles and guns, especially my guns that my grandmother gave me, but I just don't think it's right that I can't go buy a gun. That's why I will be most likely letting my card lapse and probably not renewing. I'm trying to decide.
So as a medical patient, if you go try to buy a gun, there's going to be some complications there. Could you explain that a little, please, Jamie?
That's what I've heard, at least. I mean, I've looked it up, and it said that Vermont medical patients cannot purchase guns. I mean, if you use alcohol, you can purchase guns. And I'm sorry, but a drunk person with a gun is going to be a lot worse than someone that is stoned. Just saying that. I'm not trying to, I don't want to upset anyone here, but I think that that's wrong, that I cannot purchase guns.
And
I am an American. That's my given right.
And do you already own guns?
Yes. Most of my guns were given to me by my Grammy. I use her hunting rifle every year. I have a muzzleloader, a handgun she gave me. My dad bought me a really nice other muzzleloader, so I have 2 muzzleloaders.
But if you wanted to go and then purchase another gun on top of this, would that sort of create a complication with the state, or would there?
Yeah, I think they wouldn't allow it. From what I've heard, and I think that's ridiculous. I mean, if I needed a new gun, my dad could get me one. My boyfriend could get me one. But just the fact that my right has been taken from me because I'm a medical patient, it's not right. So that's what I have to say about that.
Listen,
and I wish Jesse was here. He is a certified range safety officer. Big gun guy. As I think you know, he would have a lot to say about that.
And I'd love to have him on.
Yes, he would love. He wanted me to tell you he's sorry he couldn't be on. He took off yesterday from work to go to Maine for an extra night with me. So
that's okay. I know you guys are busy. I know everyone's busy, but I would love to have him on at some point.
Yes.
I also look. I'm sort of at the end of my questions here, but I like to give the last word to my guests. And one of the questions I like to ask is, if you could rewrite the legislation yourself, is there anything you would throw out or keep or change?
The caps. Get rid of those on edibles and concentrates and whatnot. No. Come on. It sounds like it's going to be pretty strict. So I don't really know how to answer this one. I'm going to be honest.
That's okay.
I would get rid of the caps, definitely.
The THC caps.
Yes. Definitely.
And how about the packaging requirements? 50 milligrams per package, 5 milligrams per dose.
Yeah, that's not going to be good. I hope they get rid of that next year. I heard that they could possibly do that, but I just don't understand. That's going to make the edibles, that's not very many milligrams. So
how many milligrams would you eat per dose?
Jesse can eat hundreds of milligrams and not feel much, and I am a lower tolerance.
Let's get into that. Like, what is the minimum dosage what is the minimum dosage you feel comfortable with, and the maximum dosage that you feel comfortable with?
I wouldn't go up over 100 milligrams, probably. I would do like 50 or so is what I would feel comfortable with. I did eat some hash brownies once, and I didn't make it into a concert. Yeah, someone was like, "Oh, I have hash brownies and pot brownies." I'm like, I don't care. They gave me the hash brownies, and I was really hungry. I hadn't eaten that day, so I just started munching them. I don't remember anything after exit 11 on 89 South, and I got home at 2 in the morning. Didn't make it into the show. So I don't like to, if it's like an edible that you don't know how many milligrams, I just take a little piece because I don't want to black out again. That was one time. Just being honest.
I appreciate your honesty, Jamie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really, for me, it's like 60 or 70 is where I get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
100 is like, you're gonna have to deal with me complaining for the next 3 hours on the couch of like, why did I do this? Who fed me this?
Yeah, I understand. Like the other night, I was making peanut butter like Buckeyes, but I didn't dip them. I just
Oh,
piped them
okay.
and did a drizzle of chocolate.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Jesse had to put me to bed. I had like three of them, and I was ready for bed. So yeah, I don't know how many milligrams they were, but they were stronger than I thought.
Jamie, I'm gonna leave the last word for you. I always leave the last word for my guests. I'm gonna give it
Okay.
to you. I got nothing else. This is all you. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, I love cannabis. And it's been really nice meeting everyone in this industry so far. Everyone has been great. I haven't had one issue with anyone and that I know of. Everyone has been super nice, and I'm really excited to see what a bunch of the people that I've met do in this industry and see. I love being a part of PJ's team and watching everything happen, and it's just been fabulous. I want to say, can I give a couple shout outs? All right.
Yes.
Kelly Story, that lady, she's fabulous. She makes some tasty, tasty edibles, and her husband Chris is great, and their partner TJ. They're awesome. I love those guys, and I wouldn't have probably done the Heady if it weren't for Kelly and Miguel Lopez of LB Farm. I met him, and he was like, "You have to enter the Heady," and I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "You have to enter the Heady," and it's just been amazing that I did because I still can't believe it.
He's a good man, Miguel.
Miguel's a great man. Yeah, everyone that I've met so far has been awesome. And if I forget people, I'm really sorry. But Jimmy Darrow of Mad River Hashish Co. Jimmy is awesome. We love Jimmy so much. That interview the other day was great. He's an honest, good man, and I just love him a lot. Justin Kennedy of Backwoods Farm. He placed in the Heady with his strawberry diesel that mangled me the other night. It was fabulous. And there's a lot of people in this industry that I think are going to do some fantastic things. And Caleb, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. So I really enjoy talking to you.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Like, I wish you the best of luck, man. Like, every time I see you, you have a huge smile on your face. It's kind of obnoxious because I'm like, why is she so fucking happy? And I'm not.
Because I'm high, you know? Let's be honest. I'm usually smiling because I'm high.
Jamie, this has just been a pleasure to speak with you now. And I hope we can follow this up later. I'm going to cut this right now. But
all right, Caleb.
boy, it's been a pleasure. And I hope PJ will get back to me soon. And,
yes.
And I wish you guys the best of luck in this industry. Like, you're a sweetheart, and you've always been super kind to me. And
thank you very much.
You. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good one.
All right. We did it. That was great, Jamie.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was nervous. There was a couple things where I didn't know what to say, but it was very fun.
You did great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut this out. It's gonna drop us, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time, Jamie.
Okay, bye, Caleb. Thank you.